Hi, my name's Aaron at 1maybe2 Retro. This is my first video and I'm really excited to share it with you all. My journey began back when I was a youth and was a major Commodore enthusiast, Atari, and Amiga enthusiast. I started my 8-bit computer journey with a Timex Sinclair 1000 that was lent to me by my uncle, and then continued with an Atari 400 that was lent to me by a family that moved to England for a year, friends of ours, and then a Commodore VIC-20 that I borrowed from another friend for about half a year until I could save up enough money from my paper route. Yes, paper still existed when I was that young, and bought my first Commodore computer of my very own, the Commodore 128. And amazingly, I got it with a RAM expansion unit, a 1571 disk drive. And from the same seller, about 6 months later, I got my first Commodore 1084S monitor. I always coveted the Amigas when they came out and wanted to buy one of those. But one of the units that I always wanted to get my hands on was the Commodore SX-64. I had always dreamed and tried many times to figure out a way to make my Commodore 128 portable, and that wasn't going to happen easily without the advent of LCD monitors. But the Commodore SX-64 was the world's first color portable computer, and it was the computer that I was doing the most work with. So when I found one after going into semi-retirement that was in disrepair, and having entered into my IT career through rejuvenating personal computers, not the Commodores, but everything from the IBM XT up in the PC world, and including doing new builds, but then shifting to software and getting out of that industry, spent a number of years watching Commodore and other PC repair videos online. I thought I would apply what I had learned from the community online, my good research skills, to rejuvenating this system that was, dead on arrival, DOA. So join me on my journey as this becomes my very first attempt at repairing an 8-bit or vintage or retro computer, and hopefully not the last. And in fact, in filming this, I have already acquired a number of malfunctioning systems that I'm hoping that you can enjoy as much as I do, bringing them back to life and making them available either to other collectors or for my own collection. So thank you to all of the community that has provided me with the insight, the desire, the motivation to bring this to you. I hope you enjoy it. Press like if you do like it. Subscribe definitely if you want to see more of my content. It will get more interesting and exciting as we go. When I got this unit, I knew it had a few issues with it. I knew that it had a blank screen. I knew that that it wasn't actually booting the kernel and going into basic ROM. It wasn't. It was just presenting a gray screen, which was a good sign because at least the screen was getting power. But on an initial inspection, I couldn't determine exactly what was causing the issue. Through many other YouTubers online, preliminary diagnosis may have been PLA, may have been chipset, etc. Until I got a test cartridge and had that installed, I wasn't going to be able to diagnose it. And at the time when I was picking up, this being the very first machine, it has no, I didn't have the proper test cartridges, etc. So if I show you the video here, all I have is a blank screen. I can show this again. You can see the flash, turn it on. It goes through a basic check, but even when I type something, Click load, shift, $sign, shift, click 8, nothing. So full disclosure, I have had the lid off of this. So let's take the lid off and I'll show you what I found. So on very first inspection, and I had even noticed this before, it looks like we have some major cartridge port pin issues. I think you'll be able to see that. Everything else was well seated. I did a basic finger seat test. The first thing we're going to do is remove the cartridge port and see if that makes a difference, because that's essentially pins crossed on your bus lines, which I suspect could cause a dead short. This is what it looks like with it removed. As you can see, hold my camera gently. Pin 1 is right there. That's where your red line goes. And we're going to replace that cartridge port and see what kind of signal we get. We have the screen. Sorry for the scrolling bars. You'll see it over here. Screw down the cartridge port, pardon me. And then, now that we've corrected that problem, but now we can actually run a test bed. Because in theory, the cartridge port will work. Okay, so we have our diag cartridge in. I think I got the dips set properly, but I'll double check. The SX doesn't have a cassette port, but here we have controller 1, we have controller 2, we have the drive, we have obviously video out, and I have set SX on the serial port adapter. So with that, make sure we're recording here. So with that, I'm going to turn it on again and we're going to run its diagnostics. Let's see how that goes. Okay. The cartridge is running. It's hard for you to see because the screen is still coming up. I'll probably reset that and try and so far we're looking good. Okay, PLA shows as bad as I suspected. Okay. Color RAM. I'm guessing it's going to come back as bad as well. I'm seeing a lot of bad RAM chips on here, but that might be because of the PLA. That seems to be hanging on the color RAM. I'm glad I ordered those chips. Now, the PLA is just down there. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting past color RAM either. Now again, that can be because of the PLA. Let's just hit a reset here. We're gonna watch what happens. As I said, that can be because of the PLA. It could be both the PLA and the color RAM. Basic RAM tests are coming back okay. I'll probably do a dead test on this before I pull the board. You can see I've already marked in preparation to pull the board. And here again, we're stuck on color RAM. That would make sense with the flashing color across all the text, but yeah. Okay, let's shut this down and do a dead test. Well, here's what's going to happen with our dead test. It's working on 0 page right now. Those colors are funky. So this is good. Our 0 page is showing good. Our stack page is showing good. Screen RAM. Puts a character in every space on the screen and validates that the right character is there. Does I assume what it's doing? Oh, and look at that. Color RAM bad. Just froze right up. Okay. Time to pull the board. We'll replace the PLA and see if that makes a difference, and we'll have a look at the color RAM. Here's the old PLA, and here is the replacement. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from this angle, but the old PLA came out of there. So that's where we're going to put it back. The challenge I have is I'll have to locate the color RAM. I have a feeling it's going to be not socketed. Oh, there it is, right down there. So we're going to have to pull this board if the PLA doesn't correct the problem. Okay, let's put the new PLA in. All right, so I've replaced the old PLA with a new PLA. You put the cords back on, got the diag card back in, got it set for diagnostics. We'll get the whole screen up and running here. We've reset. We're going to do a full test here. I don't see any flickering anymore. I see a whole bunch of skewed text, but not the flickering we were encountering before. Not sure which is causing that. Oh, look at this. So we're going through our basic test here, and we are no longer freezing on color RAM. We're showing 6526 as bad. We're showing the kernel ROM as bad. Keyboard is bad. Control port is bad. Serial port bad. User port bad. Interrupt bad. All right. We'll start doing the other tests. So here we're doing a dead test. I haven't figured out why I'm getting bleeding on the screen capture. Let me check something here. Let's go contrast. No. Volume. Brightness. Oh, it's not affecting it on there. It could just very well be a lousy capture card. Cable's new. So full color RAM test is okay. All right. Let's go back to that. Okay. Wrong settings on it, yeah. Maybe this special one is more specific to the SX. And it does say SX-64 diagnostic revision 588220 star. Okay, that makes a bit more makes it a bit more understanding. So fingers crossed, it actually comes right. The color RAM's coming back positive. I don't know. Okay, so keyboard bad, understood. Control ports are good. Our kernel ROM, basic ROM, character ROM are all coming back. Okay, I guess. Timers are coming back. Interrupt is okay. Sound test. Seem to play. Fine, okay. Let's do a deeper SID test on this. I'm still interested to understand why the serial port isn't working when it's able to actually test the other ports. But anyways, SID tester is one down, up, up, down, down. Okay, here we go. Oh, can barely read that on my screen. We're just going to hit run. So what happens when I change this? No signal. Okay, SID test seems to have come back fine. Let's see what happens with the 1541. Now, I've cleaned it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to see how long it takes to get a directory here. I was using some old discs with it to try and test it. That's not a good sign. So there's a disk here. I'm going to reset the drive. I'm going to pull this disk out. I'm going to put it back in. Let's just have a look. Okay, I'm going to exit here. So, that wasn't very exciting. Yeah, I'm going to get better at making these videos. Need to talk a bit more through them about what I'm doing and maybe sound a little more excited when I actually fix things. But thank you for watching. And I hope you'll actually join me for part 2. Obviously, I didn't get through the issues that I have with the keyboard, only the main unit. And then, as you saw at the end, I ran into problems with the disk drive and something that I had actually cleaned off video and wasn't having issues with. And then that's going to lead to another video where I'm going to try and find some known good discs on, sadly, trying to find a known good drive. I thought I had one, but apparently no. It's not as good as I thought. So that might be a fun, entertaining video for you to watch as I slowly go through disc test after disc test, trying to figure out A, what discs actually work, and B, what what are the best discs to represent a close alignment for the drive. So keyboard in part 2, and then probably circling back if I have time in part 2 or maybe a part 3 for the keyboard. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, hit like, and this has been Aaron at One Maybe Two Retro. Thank you for joining me on this somewhat exciting journey. Thanks. Enjoy One Maybe Two Retro. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Thanks. Don't know what else to say. You'll see my dog here eventually. Thanks. See you later.